Most people think aging well is about diet, supplements, or finding the next miracle habit. But here's the uncomfortable truth most people over 50 never hear. The biggest predictor of your future independence isn't what you eat, it's how strong you are. And the scary part, muscle doesn't disappear loudly. It fades quietly while life feels normal. Think about it for a second. Have you noticed small hesitations creeping in? Getting up from the couch takes a little more effort. Stairs feel different than they used to. Balance isn't what it was, but not bad enough to worry. Yet. That's exactly how independence starts slipping away. Not suddenly, not dramatically, slowly, silently. What if strength training wasn't about looking younger, but about protecting your future self? What if muscle was the closest thing we have to long-term insurance for aging well? If you stay with me, you'll understand why most people miss this completely, and how building strength the right way can change not just how long you live, but how well you live. Most people don't notice when it starts. That's the problem. Sarcopenia is the slow, progressive loss of muscle mass and strength that comes with aging, and it rarely announces itself. One day you're fine, and the next you're gripping the handrail a little tighter or taking longer to get out of a chair. It feels normal, almost invisible. But behind the scenes, your body is quietly trading strength for fragility, and most people never realize what's really happening. Here's what makes sarcopenia especially dangerous. It doesn't just affect how you look, it affects how you live. Less muscle means reduced mobility, poorer balance, and a higher risk of falls and fractures. It slows your metabolism, making weight gain easier and blood sugar harder to control. Suddenly, everyday tasks feel heavier than they used to, and that gradual loss chips away at something deeper, confidence in your own body. What's rarely explained is that sarcopenia isn't just aging, it's accelerated aging. Muscle tissue plays a central role in longevity, health span, and functional fitness. When muscle declines, independence follows. That's why strength after 50 isn't about chasing youth, it's about protecting your quality of life. The uncomfortable truth is this: many people don't lose independence suddenly. They lose it one unnoticed compromise at a time. But here's the turning point most people never hear. Sarcopenia is not inevitable. The body remains adaptable far longer than we're led to believe. Muscle can be preserved, rebuilt, and strengthened well into later decades when approached intelligently and safely. And once you understand what muscle actually does for healthy aging, the conversation shifts completely. Because strength isn't just protection, it's leverage. And that's where the real story begins. Most people think of muscle as something purely mechanical. Lift this, carry that, look a certain way. But that's an outdated view. In reality, muscle is one of the most powerful longevity organs in the human body. It acts like an endocrine system, releasing signaling molecules that influence metabolism, inflammation, brain health, and even how well you age overall. When you build and maintain muscle, you're not just training strength, you're upgrading your entire health span. Start with metabolism. Muscle tissue is metabolically active, meaning it helps your body manage energy more efficiently, even at rest. More muscle makes it easier to regulate blood sugar, support insulin sensitivity, and avoid the slow metabolic decline many associate with aging. This isn't about burning calories for aesthetics. It's about keeping your system responsive, resilient, and less vulnerable to chronic disease as the years add up. Then there's bone health, a topic often reduced to calcium and supplements. Muscle contractions send mechanical signals to your bones, telling them to stay dense and strong. Without that stimulus, bones weaken faster, increasing fracture risk. Simple strength movements like squats, step-ups, or even controlled carries send a clear message to the skeleton: stay robust. This muscle-bone partnership is one of the most underrated pillars of healthy aging. And this is where things start to connect. A stronger metabolic engine and healthier bones create the foundation for something even more critical: stability. Because muscle doesn't just move you, it steadies you. Balance, coordination, and mobility all depend on strength that works in real life. And once you see how muscle protects movement itself, the story naturally shifts toward why falls are not accidents, they're warnings. Benefit 1: balance and mobility. Muscle is what allows your body to react before a fall becomes a fracture. Strong legs, hips, and core muscles give your nervous system something to work with when you trip, turn quickly, or step on uneven ground. Without that reserve, balance becomes fragile. This is why mobility loss rarely starts with pain. It starts with hesitation. And hesitation is often the first sign that strength is quietly fading. Benefit 2, brain health. When muscles contract, they release myokines, chemical messengers that travel to the brain and support memory, focus, and cognitive resilience. Strength training has been consistently linked to slower cognitive decline and better mental clarity over time. In other words, training your muscles isn't just about moving better. It's about thinking more clearly and protecting the mind that guides every movement. Benefit 3, hormonal regulation. Muscle plays a major role in how your body handles blood sugar and insulin. More muscle means better glucose uptake, fewer energy crashes, and less metabolic stress throughout the day. This stability is a cornerstone of evidence-based health and healthy aging. When energy feels steady instead of volatile, daily life becomes easier. And that's a huge win for quality of life after 50. Benefit 4, stronger bones. Benefit 5, full body resilience. Muscle sends signals to bone tissue, encouraging density and strength, which helps protect against fractures. At the same time, muscle acts as a central regulator connecting metabolism, mobility, balance, and brain health into one integrated system. This is what functional fitness really means, not isolated strength, but a body that works together. And once you see muscle this way, the next question becomes obvious. How do you build and protect it safely without extremes and for the long term? Here's the principle most people underestimate. It's never too late to start. The human body remains adaptable far longer than we were taught to believe. Muscle responds to intelligent stimulus at almost any age when the approach is progressive and safe. This isn't about reversing time. It's about using biology the way it was designed. Longevity and health span improve not through extremes, but through consistent signals that tell the body you're still needed. Pillar 1, nutrition, specifically protein. Muscle maintenance requires raw material, and after 50, protein needs increase slightly to counter natural breakdown. That doesn't mean supplements first. It means prioritizing real food. Eggs, Greek yogurt, fish, lean meats, legumes, and whey protein when needed. Spreading protein across meals matters more than most realize. Think of it as sending your muscles multiple reminders each day to stay active and resilient. Pillar 2, progressive strength training. Pillar 3, recovery. 2 to 3 sessions per week focused on compound movements, squats, presses, rows, hinges, performed with control, not ego. Progression doesn't mean heavier every week. It means better form, better range, better confidence. And recovery isn't optional. Sleep is where adaptation happens. Training builds the signal. Rest builds the result. Pillar 4, hydration. Pillar 5, consistency. Muscle tissue is highly dependent on water for contraction, circulation, and recovery. Even mild dehydration reduces performance and increases injury risk, but consistency is the real multiplier. Small efforts repeated over years outperform intense bursts followed by burnout. This is functional fitness for real life. And once the blueprint feels doable, the next obstacle isn't physical anymore. It's mental. One of the most persistent myths around strength after 50 is the fear of getting too big. The reality is almost the opposite. Building significant muscle size requires years of aggressive training, excess calories, and hormonal conditions that simply aren't present later in life. What strength training actually delivers is firmness, stability, and control. Muscle doesn't make you bulky. It makes you capable, and capability is the currency of independence. Another common belief is that lifting weights damages joints. In truth, properly performed strength training is one of the best tools for joint health. Muscles act like shock absorbers, reducing stress on knees, hips, and shoulders. Controlled movements, appropriate ranges of motion, and gradual progression strengthen the tissues around the joint. When joints feel safer, movement feels less threatening, and confidence returns. This might be the most damaging myth of all. Age is often blamed, but inactivity is the real culprit. Research in evidence-based health consistently shows that adults in their 60s, 70s, and beyond can gain strength and muscle with the right approach. The body doesn't respond to birthdays. It responds to stimulus. And when that stimulus is intelligent, the results can be surprisingly fast. Here's the mental reframe that changes everything. The goal isn't aesthetics, it's functional fitness. Carrying groceries without strain. Standing up from the floor with confidence. Walking faster when a crosswalk light changes. Strength training is about preserving daily function, balance, and autonomy. Once that becomes clear, fear fades. And with the mental barriers out of the way, a deeper question naturally follows. How do you make all of this stick in real life? There's a concept in longevity science that rarely shows up in fitness conversations: physiological reserve. It refers to how much extra capacity your body has when life demands more from you. Illness, stress, a fall, surgery, or even a bad week of sleep. Muscle is one of the biggest contributors to that reserve. When you have more strength than you strictly need on a good day, you're far better protected on a bad one. Here's where this becomes practical. Imagine getting the flu, missing workouts for 2 weeks, or being less active after a minor injury. Someone with low muscle reserve declines fast. Someone with strength in the bank barely notices. This is why functional fitness isn't about daily performance. It's about resilience over time. Muscle acts like a buffer against life's interruptions, helping you maintain mobility, balance, and independence even when conditions aren't ideal. From an evidence-based health perspective, muscle reserve improves recovery capacity, immune response, and metabolic flexibility. It helps the body tolerate stress without tipping into dysfunction. That's one reason strength training is consistently linked to better outcomes after hospitalization and illness in older adults. This isn't biohacking in the extreme sense. It's light educational biohacking rooted in physiology. Build capacity before you need it. When you view muscle as insurance rather than effort, everything changes. Training stops feeling optional and starts feeling strategic. You're not chasing youth or aesthetics, you're investing in future you. This mindset shift is subtle but powerful, and it ties everything together: sarcopenia, benefits, blueprint, and mental barriers. Because once you understand reserve, one idea becomes unavoidable. Your goal isn't youth, it's independence. Now here's the real question, and it's an uncomfortable one. Knowing all of this, what are you going to do with it? Because understanding longevity, health span, and strength after 50 only matters if it changes how you live. Muscle isn't just another habit. It's the foundation that supports mobility, balance, clarity, and independence. Every rep, every walk, every intentional meal is a quiet vote for how you want to live later. So let me ask you something honestly. Do you want to spend the next decade adapting your life to a weaker body, or building a stronger body that adapts to life? Aging well doesn't happen by accident. It's built through functional fitness, evidence-based health choices, and consistency when motivation fades. Remember this: your goal isn't youth, it's independence. And if this video helped shift how you see strength and healthy aging, make sure you're subscribed to Longevity Blueprint and turn on notifications. We go deeper every week into how to age better, calmly, safely, and intelligently. Before you go, there's one more piece of the puzzle you can't miss. Strength alone isn't enough if your lifestyle has no rhythm. That's why you should watch this next video on your screen. Longevity comes from rhythm, not hacks. The truth about viral wellness trends. It connects directly to everything you learned here and shows what actually sustains results long term.